Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club, and today I am making a layout for Mixed Media Monday. So I've got the November kits to play with. I have the main kit, I also have Pocket Life kit, the embellishment kit, and of course the Mixed Media kit, the colour kit even, for Mixed Media Monday assignment. So I am focusing on the colour kit this time, and I'm using the two colours of Lindy's, and I'm also using the die cuts that were in the colour kit. Now I also really wanted to use the stencil, but I left it at home and I was at a crop today, so I had to manage without it. Sorry about that. So I've gone in quite dark with the first colour of Lindy's, so that is the red one, and I just thought I would apply using the packaging technique across my layout. So I'm planning to make like a bit of a winter scene with all of these die cut pieces, and I'm going to colour in my die cuts using the two Lindy's powders, and the way I'm doing it is I'm putting it onto a piece of packaging and I'm getting it reasonably wet, and I'm then putting my die cuts into that colour. Now the thing I really love about these powders is that they have lots of different colours in them. So where I've applied it on my background already, I put the powder onto the layout directly, not on all of it, but on some. I sprinkled some powder on, and I sprayed with my water spray, and then you can really see all the colours spread out. They're kind of like a starburst effect. It's really, really cool. And I kind of wanted to do the same kind of thing. I wanted the same effect on my die cuts. It was a bit more tricky because I had to move the die cuts around in the liquid there, and I keep adding more water, so I've got some dark ones, some lighter ones, but the effect is really, really lovely, and it's very pink, but I do have some lighter pink ones as well rather than the dark, yeah, I really love how they turned out. I've got some that are a bit patchy, so I'm just making sure that they're not too patchy and not too many areas of white, but there I'm just going to leave those die cuts aside to dry. And I say, you can see that I've already applied some of the paint to my background of my layout already. I made it really quite wet because of the way the Lindy's powders kind of explode, and I wanted to keep that liquid. So sometimes I blot off the liquid, but then it leaves a different effect. So I'm using my heat tool to dry those areas of wetness of liquid, and I really love the effect that leaving a large pool of liquid on the layout and then drying it with a heat tool. I really love that effect, how it looks. You can really see the watermarks as opposed to blotting things off. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the rest of my layout. My die cuts can just sit there and dry. I would dry them with my heat tool, but I've got a feeling they'll all fly off everywhere, so I'm going to leave them as they are. I really, really love this pink colour paper from one of the papers in the hip kit, but I don't have very much of it left. I've used quite a lot already. So I had like a border frame that I'd cut the middle out of previously, so I just cut 2 strips of that and I've put it at the bottom, and actually I don't think I end up using those pink strips. I think I end up moving them off, but that's one of my favourite papers in this collection, or in this month's kit. So I'm just currently backing my 2 photos onto some pattern paper, or Project Life cards, I can't remember, and I'm just going to arrange my die cuts around my photo. I want to kind of create this like wintry scene along the middle section of the layout, and it's very, very pink at the moment, and that's fine. I was going for a pink, red and white and some silver colour scheme anyway, so I'm happy, very, very happy with the pink. Now I have a big smudge of the Lindy spray on the bottom left corner. It doesn't really show up in the video, but it was really bothering me in real life, so I definitely had to cover that up. So that's what the pink strips were for, and now I've actually moved away from the pink strips and I'm using another piece of white cardstock, which I've cut into a little hill. So that's going to be layered up onto the bottom of my cardstock instead of those pink strips. It also gives me a nice little contour to follow, a line to follow of my trees and my houses that I'm just arranging onto my layout. So over on the right hand side, the trees and houses will be higher than down on the left, and then I'm going to add a little cluster down on the left hand corner as well, with some of those die cuts. So I'm liking the way that it's looking at the moment. I say it is very, very pink. I was aiming for a pink, red and white. However, it's actually so pink that wasn't necessarily going to be the dominant colour, but it's good. I like it. I like pink, so it's good. Okay, so one of the other assignments today was to add sparkle. Now, I didn't have the December documented kit this time, which has got sparkly stuff in it, so I'm improvising. So I have just stamped, using the exclusive stamps, a few little stars onto my background, and I have put on some shimmery embossing powder. So I'm just putting that on and shaking off the excess, and then I'm going to heat emboss those little stars. It is very, very subtle because the embossing powder is just sparkly, like white sparkly, and on a white background doesn't show up that brilliantly. It goes doesn't dry white, it doesn't emboss white, it embosses see-through, and plus the sparkle. I'm really sorry about my antlers. This is a big mistake. I did about 5 layouts wearing these antlers, all videoed, and I've got antlers in every video. So this is the last one, you'll be pleased to know. So I'm really sorry about my antlers that keep appearing in the video. What I'm doing now is, because I wasn't happy with the shimmer, the paint, no, start again. Because I wasn't happy with the embossing powder, it didn't show up enough, I decided to add silver glitter to the top of my trees and houses. I was kind of aiming for a snow-covered look. I did have some white glitter, but actually I decided to go for the silver because I've really got product envy of the Nuvo silver glitter paste that is in the December documented kit. So I have now ordered some because I have envy. I've got fear of missing out. So so I was trying to mimic that with the silver glitter. I really like the effect actually. But this is just loose glitter. I haven't used that paste because I haven't got it yet. But I have just applied wet glue. So I've used a fine tip applicator, wet glue onto the top of my houses and my snowflakes and my trees, and then I've applied the loose glitter on top and then shaking it off. So because I'm using such a fine tip, I can really kind of draw on the details of the glitter onto the trees and the houses, and it looks so good actually. In real life it looks really good. You can't really see it that brilliantly on the camera screen right this minute, but you'll hopefully see it in the close-ups a bit better, and it does look really lovely in real life as well. Very sparkly, very pretty. I love the silver colour. It's nice to have silver. We have so much gold, and I love gold too, but I love silver every so often as well. Moving on now, I've pretty much done the mixed media element of my layout at this point, so now I just need to put the rest of the layout together. I am going to add a strip of colour at the bottom there. I just wanted to kind of ground the layout a little bit, and it's a lot of white, so I just wanted a little bit of colour. It's not even much colour, it's grey, but you know what I mean. I've got a bit of pattern down the bottom there, and this layout is all about gingerbread. So we have got photos by the gingerbread house and by the gingerbread men. I'm going through all of the bits and pieces in the kit, trying to find anything that is gingerbread related. So there's quite a bit. There's one gingerbread man who I've put onto the layout already. He's a die cut, so I've already popped him on next to the snowman. He's very cute. He's got a little blue jumper on. Blue didn't really go with my colour scheme, but I went with it. It's all good. There's lots of other bits and pieces that are gingerbread related as well. So I'm just adding my title right now. I just suddenly thought, oh goodness, I better get in my title. Plus I found the word joy that is in gingerbread form. So I wanted to use that, and I thought I better put my title in place before I do anything else because it's quite big. So I've used the red stickers for gingerbread, and the word joy I think is a leatherette sticker that I've used under there, and that's part of my title too. So I've got my gingerbread joy following the line of the hill that I have put at the bottom of the layout. And now I'm just going through adding all the gingerbread stickers. So there's quite a few stickers in this kit that were stars or hearts or trees or whatever, but they all in gingerbread colour with like little icing details on them. They're so cute. How awesome an idea is that? I loved it. So I've just gone through and pulled all of those out, and I'm just adding them all to the layout. I'm also adding other bits and pieces as well, so some stars and some hearts and snowflakes, and you know, anything that went really. Oh, there was some sweeties as well. Those, are they candy melts? I think they're called, something like that. You know, the red and white sweets. So I've put a few of those out as well because they go well with my colour scheme. Yeah, it's all coming on really nicely. I'm just going to add some silver thread, some twiddles here and there, because I don't have any in place at the moment. So I'm just putting that one over on the right hand side. I'm using silver thread obviously because I've used silver glitter on my layout, and I have a pink and red and silver colour scheme going on, plus some gingerbread accents. So just getting those I didn't like that one there. It doesn't look right. It doesn't sit under anything nicely enough. So I'm going to take that out and put it somewhere else. So yeah, that's the point where I realised that no, it just doesn't look right there. So so I'm going to stick it, I think, under my snowman instead. The reason I didn't choose that spot in the first place was because I was worried that my thread would show through the holes in the snowman, but actually it looks fine, and it's a much better place for the thread too. So just got those two are now stuck in place. I just put them down with a little bit of sellotape underneath the items. So now I'm just adding some final flicks. I've already added my journaling along the bottom part of my layout, so you see that grey line. I've added my journaling along there in handwritten, and then I've added some splatters at the top, and that is me done. So thank you very much for joining me today for Mixed Media Monday. I hope you like my glitter topped die cuts, and make sure you give this technique a go. It's really good fun. Okay, thank you so much. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.